So when you hear Civil Air Patrol, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Search and rescue, right? Flying planes, looking for lost hikers. But what if I told you that's only part of the story? A huge part of their mission, a full one-third, has nothing to do with that. It's all about inspiring the next generation. And today, we're going to dive into this massive and honestly kind of overlooked mission, educating America's youth.
Yeah, you heard that right. And this isn't some newfangled program they just cooked up. Nope, we're talking since 1946. Education has been a core pillar of what CAP does for this country. It's not a side gig, not just a nice-to-have. It's a foundational duty written right into their charter to shape the future leaders in aviation and STEM.
And here it is, the mission statement itself. It's super direct, no messing around. Just look at the keywords here, inspire and leaders. That tells you everything. This whole thing isn't about making kids memorize facts for a test. It's about lighting that spark, igniting a real passion for science, tech, engineering, and math, and then helping to grow the actual people who are going to lead us down the road.
Okay, so that's the what. But the big question is how? How in the world does a volunteer organization manage to build one of the biggest aerospace education pipelines in the entire country? Seriously, the sheer scale of this operation is probably going to blow your mind. Get ready for this number. 500,000. Let that sink in. Every single year, CAP's aerospace program reaches more than 500,000 kids. That's just a staggering number. And the craziest part? It's all powered by a network of dedicated volunteers.
So who's actually doing all this work? Well, the whole program really runs on two main groups of people. You've got the volunteers inside CAP, and then you've got their partners, the educators outside the organization. And figuring out the difference between the two is really the key to understanding how this whole thing clicks.
All right, let's break it down. On one side, you've got your Aerospace Education Officer, the AEO. These are CAP members, right in the local squadrons, and their job is to deliver all this great stuff to the cadets and senior members. Then, on the other side, you have the Aerospace Education Member, or AEM. These are your community partners. Think teachers, librarians, museum staff, the folks who take these amazing resources and bring them straight into their classrooms and communities.
And you better believe CAP makes it a sweet deal for these educators to join up as AEMs. I mean, check this out. They get totally free K-12 curriculum books, free STEM kits, we're talking hands-on stuff. They can get in on award programs, and then there's the big one of the coolest perks I've ever heard of. They get a chance to actually go for a flight in a CAP airplane. How cool is that for bringing some inspiration back to the classroom?
Okay, so we've been talking about these resources and tools, but what are they really? What's the secret sauce that's reaching 500,000 kids every year? Let's pull back the curtain and look at the actual stuff CAP gives out to make all this happen.
First off, it all starts with the books. And we're not talking a couple of pamphlets here. CAP has a library of over 40 different curriculum products, and they're all free. These are legit, comprehensive guides and textbooks covering everything you can imagine, from the history of the Tuskegee Airmen and women in aviation, all the way to really advanced stuff like cybersecurity and complex aircraft systems.
But, reading about this stuff is one thing. The real magic, the part that gets kids truly hooked, is when they get to build things, when they get their hands dirty. And that, my friends, is where the STEM kits come in.
And this is what it's all about. CAP gives out these totally free STEM kits for all kinds of awesome projects. We're talking robotics, astronomy, RC planes, and of course, a huge fan favorite, model rocketry. The whole point of these kits is to take ideas that might seem kind of abstract on a page and turn them into something real, something you can touch, and something that's just plain exciting.
Yeah, let's talk about the rocketry program for a second, because it's the perfect example of what CAP does so well. It takes some pretty complex science and just makes it feel like pure fun. It's no wonder it's one of their most popular activities. I mean, what's not to love? You've got the learning, the engineering and building, and then that awesome thrill of watching your own rocket blast off.
And they make the whole process super clear and really rewarding. It's a simple three-step path to launch. First, you gotta learn the basics. Read up on the principles, take a quick quiz to show you know your stuff. Then, step 2, the really fun part, you actually build the rocket. You're applying all that engineering knowledge. And finally, step 3, you launch it. Under safe supervision, of course. It's that simple. Learn, build, launch.
Now, with a program this big and this important, you've got to have a way to recognize people's hard work, right? To celebrate success. And CAP has that covered. They've got this really solid system of awards that honors achievement at basically every level you can think of, from one person doing great work all the way up to an entire squadron.
So for those volunteer AEOs we talked about, this isn't just some weekend hobby. It's a formal, professional development path, a specialty track. As they learn more and get more experience, they actually earn ratings, climbing the ladder from technician all the way up to master. And they get this awesome AE badge to show for it. It's a real symbol of their expertise and just how committed they are to this mission.
And the awards just keep building from there. You've got things like the Jaeger Award, which is this really tough test of your aerospace knowledge. Then there's the AX Award, which is all about celebrating squadrons and even classrooms that get a bunch of hands-on activities done. The Brewer Awards are super prestigious. They go to people in groups making major contributions to aerospace education. And of course you have the AEO of the Year, which, well, that one's for the absolute best of the best.
Okay, and I have to circle back to this one thing, because it's just so unique. That Teacher Orientation Program flight, the TOP flight, this is not just a little joyride to see the sights, it's a full-on immersive experience. It's designed to give these teachers a genuine feel for what flight is like, so they can take that energy, that awe, right back to their students and fuel their lessons with some real-world wonder.
So, when you put it all together, here's the bottom line. The Civil Air Patrol's education program, it's so much more than just a collection of fun activities. It is a strategic, nationwide machine designed to fill that critical STEM pipeline, to build the future workforce and the leaders this country is going to need. And let's be real, in a world with commercial space races and all sorts of complex global challenges, a mission like this has never been more important.
Which really leaves us with one final thought. Through this incredible volunteer effort, CAP is absolutely doing its part. So the question that's left for the rest of us is, who's going to inspire that next journey to the stars? Who's going to light that fire for the next generation? And the answer? Well, it just might be in a classroom or even a cockpit, right in your own community.